Hello everyone and welcome to the first video guide for Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft. As you might have noticed, the game is very easy to get into but pretty hard to master, so I decided to make this video series to teach you guys how to become great Hearthstone players. In this first video I'm going to show you how to play a match. I'm assuming you all played through the tutorial, so I will talk about topics the tutorial didn't really cover but are still very essential for succeeding in Hearthstone. The deck I'm using here only contains basic cards, so if you have a mage on level 10, you'll be able to build the deck on your own. At the end of the video I'll show you the deck list so you can try it out for yourself. But let's go ahead now and find an opponent. So at the start of every match there is a coin toss. The player who goes first gets 3 cards, the player who goes second gets 1 extra card as well as the coin, which lets him use 1 extra mana the turn he plays it. Now the first decision you have to make here is what card do you want to keep in your starting hand and what cards do you want to redraw. Now usually you want to have low mana cost cards, like for example 2 or 3 mana or even 1 in your starting hand. These 3 cards we got here are all really high on mana cost. The Fireball costs 4 and the 2 Ogres cost 6. So we're gonna actually redraw all 3 of them and see if we get a better starting hand. Okay, we get the Frostbolt, which is a really nice low cost damage spell. And we also draw into the Bloodfin Raptor, which is a 2 mana cost card we can play next turn. We're on turn 1 now, we get 1 mana. Because we don't have anything that costs 1 mana, we're just gonna end our turn here. Our opponent plays the Blood Imp, which buffs his other health of his other minions at the end of a turn. Okay, so let's look at the options we have for this turn. We have 2 mana, so we can either use the Hero Power, which is to deal 1 damage. We can use the Frostbolt, which deals 3 damage to a character and freezes it. And we can play the Bloodfin Raptor, which is a 3/2 minion. Now let's go through these options. First of all, the Hero Power. This minion has only 1 health. It would be really nice to actually kill it off with our Hero Power, but it has stealth, so it cannot be targeted by spells, by other minions, or by Hero Powers. So we cannot actually use our Hero Power here. We could still use it to deal damage to our opponent directly, but that's not really useful right now. The Frostbolt as well, we cannot target this minion, and we don't want to use spells on your hero's face just to deal 3 damage, because we actually want to keep these spells to get rid of minions on his side of the board. So that leaves us with the only option left. We're gonna play the Bloodfin Raptor here and end our turn. For next turn we have 3 mana. We can either use the Shattered Sun Cleric to buff this guy, or we can use Frostbolt to kill something on his side of the board. Let's see what he does first. Okay, he chooses to Soulflower our guy. He played another Blood Imp. They're gonna buff each other now. That's okay. Now this is actually not so great for us. The only thing here worth playing is the Shattered Sun Cleric. But the Shattered Sun Cleric is best used when you actually can buff another minion, because it has a Battle Cry effect which gives a friendly minion +1/+1. If we play it, this effect is lost. But because we have nothing else to play, again we don't want to waste a Frostbolt on his face, and we don't want to use our Hero Power, I think we actually have to play the Shattered Sun Cleric here, even though it's not optimal. Next turn we have 4 mana, so we can either play the Chillwind Yeti, which is a really nice minion, and we could also Fireball something. But I doubt we're gonna need that for next turn already.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Okay, he uses the Shattered Sun Cleric as well. He's buffing 1 of his Blood Imps and he chooses not to do anything else. Okay, now we have a couple of options again. We could Frostbolt this guy to kill it off. That would leave us with 2 mana to use our hero power. We could also, and this is the option I like best, we could trade here. We can use our minion to kill his. Both the minions will die. And use our full 4 mana to play the Chill with Yeti. This is the better decision in my opinion, because it leaves you with a stronger minion on your side of the board. If you use the Frostbolt, we would just have a 3-2 now. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, he plays the Voidwalker and buffs it with his Demon Fire, which makes it a 3-5. Which actually is a pretty nice target for either Fireball or just Chill with Yeti plus hero power. Well, okay. Chill with Yeti plus hero power is not an option anymore because it actually has 6 health. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our Fireball. He has 6 health, the Fireball deals 6 damage. It's the best solution in my opinion, and we're gonna attack him because we cannot target these minions because they have stealth. Next turn we have 6 mana. We can play the Gurubashi Berserker. Maybe we have to use Fireball. We will see. Let's wait first what actually he will do. Okay, he uses Corruption on this Chill and Yeti, so this guy will actually die at the end, actually at the start of my next turn. Because this guy will die anyway, we're just gonna use him to get rid of his minion. Then we have 6 mana left. Now again, I don't want to use the spells on him. There's nothing to target on his side of the board, so we're just gonna keep those spells in hand. We don't have yet enough mana to play the Flame Strike, which would be a waste here anyway because these 2 minions are really small. So we're just gonna use our mana efficiently by playing the Gurubashi Berserker.
Job's done.
If you played the Acidic Swampus, we would only get use 2 mana, and we also would have a weaker minion on the board. That's why we played the Berserker here. If he plays a couple of more minions, we can actually Flame Strike next turn. But it doesn't look like he will. So we're probably not going to use Flame Strike here because, well, we can actually just get rid of 1 minion and now they buff each other. Yeah, we're not going to use Flame Strike, definitely. Now we have 4 spells in hand, which all are pretty useless at the moment because we again cannot target any minions on his side of the board. So what we're gonna do here is actually quite funny. We can use our hero power to deal damage to our own Berserker, because every time this guy takes damage he gains 3 attack. So it's a 5-6 now. We have still 5 mana, so we're gonna play the Acidic Swampus, because the Battle Cry effect here, which destroys a weapon of our opponent, is no use in this battle anyway because Warlocks cannot have weapons. And we're gonna attack him with our Berserker and we're gonna end our turn. Again, even though we have 3 mana left and we have a 2 mana cost spell, we're not gonna use it because we want to use it to get rid of the minions of our opponent. Okay, he plays Summoning Portal. We need to get rid of that, otherwise he can play his minions fairly cheaply. He's also buffing his Blood Imp, and he probably has a Mortal Coin now to finish it, otherwise it will be pretty pointless. Okay, he does not. Wow. This is a pretty good turn, probably. Oh, of course he can finish here, yeah. Well, maybe it's not that. I thought about using Flame Strike, but the problem is Flame Strike only kills 1 guy, which leaves these with 1 health, and we cannot do We only have 1 mana left if we play the Flame Stack, so we cannot kill this thing. What should we do? Couple of options. We could Fireball it and then play Water Elemental. We could Polymorph it, which makes this a 1/1.
I wonder.
And again play Water Elemental. Flame Strike is kind of out of the question. Yeah, it really is, because it's not doing too much. Frostbolt is useless because we can only deal 3 damage with it. We could kill this guy with the Frostbolt and Hero Power, but we don't want to leave the Summoning Portal alive. So I'm actually using Polymorph here. And I'm using the Water Elemental. Now this decision, we can either kill him, and we can deal damage to him, or we can kill the sheep. Because this guy can kill us next turn anyway, we're gonna kill the sheep, so we at least get 1 more minion out of it. Yeah, that's what he does. You can kill him off with our Hero Power next turn. He plays... Okay, very interesting. He played the Dread Infernal, which actually killed his Defend of Argus and puts the Flame Imp in range of our Hero Power, so I'm not sure if that's what the best decision here for him. This is a pretty easy turn for us. With Fireball and Frostbolt we have 9 damage in hand, and with this guy we have 12, and he actually probably knew that we can finish him off, and he conceded. So that's our first victory here. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. On the right side here you can see the deck list which I used in this match. In my next video I'll show you guys how to build your deck on your own. So if you're interested in more Hearthstone content, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.